Hey everyone, welcome back. I usually say, "Oh, we'll have a nice small podcast today," and then it goes for like 4 hours. But we don't have that much news this week. It was a relatively quiet week. I think it's because the PlayStation, what is it? The PlayStation 5, the PS5 Pro is coming out, well, was coming out this week. But we did get two pieces of Nintendo news, one of which is kind of a no brainer, but still happy to confirm. So, why don't you tell us the no brainer news?
Uh, well, we all kind of knew it because there's been rumors for a while, or I think Nintendo even alluded to it or said uh, Switch 2 or whatever the system's going to be called will be officially 100% compatible, backwards compatible with the Switch. That means all your game content will work, and also Nintendo Online. So I'm assuming that means that your account moves over, or they didn't really give it information on that, but I'm assuming what they mean is that your Nintendo Online game, the games of multiplayer will also work too. So I think that's what they alluded to. That's at least what I took it as, because their Nintendo Online or service has been a while, for a couple of generations now. So I don't know. I don't remember. Well, you had a Wii U subscription. Did it move over to the Switch, or did you have to make a new one? I don't think you had to make a new one, right? It was it transferred
Okay,
over.
hold on. Because the 3DS and the Switch, you could share money, I believe it was. See, this
Oh
is
yeah, it wasn't. It didn't. I remember, but I'm talking about like more recent, like Wii U to Wii. I think Switch was seamless, right? Oh, I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. This is where Steven is really really useful. He can correct us
Yeah,
all in I remember that you could share a wallet at some point, but
I think I remember right. I don't think it was seamless. I mean, Stephen probably correct us. I don't think it was. So this is going to be the, again, we might be wrong, guys. Correct us in the comments. This was going to be the first time, and the way they quote it kind of makes it logical that it's going to be seamless for the online, which is great, by the way, Jared. So that's something good,
yeah,
because I
no,
told you
dude, of course,
that
this is good.
Nintendo, yeah, is way behind when it comes to like online infrastructure and account setup, store setup. I mean, every other. I mean, I don't know too much about Sony because I don't, but I know Microsoft is at the premium when it comes to consoles, because theirs is about as closest as you're going to get to Steam at the moment. And yeah, these companies are way behind, and things are moving to the cloud, so they need to up their antics. So this is at least the first step towards Nintendo doing
Yeah,
something
and
decent.
it's so funny when I hear you talk about this stuff because
Well,
it's
because I'm
so
a tech guy,
obvious.
man.
No, but it's so
No, it's so
obvious
obvious that they're behind, right? And
that
fanboys defend it.
you
So,
are so out of the loop. It's so funny
oh,
because you talk like it's like PS2 generation and stuff.
oh well, I don't follow
So
consoles, but you
it,
do.
it's
No matter
funny.
what console it is, PlayStation's nowhere near level of Steam. You know that it's not even
No,
remotely
but it's not.
close.
It's
So,
not a okay. So let me educate you here. So Microsoft laid the foundation during the 360, which was two generations ago. So
it
clearly,
shows you how.
that's the
Yeah, it
last
shows you
time
how.
you actually
I
played
haven't
any of
played for.
this.
I think PlayStation 3 was. Yeah, so as you can see, guys, I'm not a console person.
So yeah, needless to say, you know, Xbox, Xbox and like Xbox Live and the PlayStation Network now are very very similar platforms. They're almost exactly the same. A few
Oh, that's
taps,
good.
like a few options. You can invite your friends. You can set up private channels. You can do groups. Like
Oh
they're
yeah, yeah, I know about that
very
because you see that a lot in cross-play games. It's like I play games that are cross-play with consoles, and the PlayStation, Xbox players are able to talk to themselves outside of the game
yeah.
in the game's voice system. So some people don't like that because they think it gives them a little bit of more of a competitive edge. But I don't see it like that, because if the game features in-game voice and you use the PlayStation or Xbox, what's the difference, right?
No,
The
yeah,
only
no,
difference is
no.
you're not talking to like if you're grouped up with a non-PlayStation or Xbox and they don't hear you, it either puts that person at a disadvantage. But yeah, I don't see a issue about it. A lot of people don't like it, but I don't see a big problem.
Yeah, but anyway, so like right now they're pretty much on parity. I mean, they're so close. Ever since ever since like Sony started charging and stuff, like they're very
biggest ripoff con in the industry, guys.
They're pretty much on parity. Like they're so similar. Storefronts are different. So Steam and like Xbox in the sense of the storefront, those are obviously different. But realistically, like almost all of the platforms have parity now. Like they're very close. The only one and that's the one that we're all trying to watch, and is Nintendo. Like Nintendo is the one still, that with like voice chat and stuff, it's still very what do I say? I don't want to say archaic, because not archaic.
Well, there's a couple we've talked about that. The reasoning for a couple of reasons. One, I think, is because of reducing costs. Let's make no mistake. Two, I think they kind of want to. They're still very afraid to allow.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Unquote, true freedom, because they want to protect their IPs. They worked really hard to establish Nintendo, Mario. They don't want Mario Party, and you hearing this troll saying "F you," beep 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 beep, stuff like that. They don't want to hear that or have that. Even though they don't. I don't understand Nintendo. They don't respect modern gamers or parents or something like that. But it's not an issue today, man. If kids are going to be exposed to it, kids are going to be exposed to it. Just put a warning label for legal reasons saying, that we cannot control like every online game.
Yeah, but dude, but that's not
control it. But
that's not them, right? Like that's not their thing. They want to be able to control that
they want to control everything. Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. So look,
that's one of the reasons why I think they're not on PC, because they can't stop the hacking, they can't stop the modding and stuff like that. And that's, I think, the big reason why they haven't embraced the potential revenue of the PC side.
Well, I just don't see them. I
guarantee you that's it, dude.
I don't see them even wanting to do that, because you know how many times we talk about this, right? Like they do their own thing. If they were doing this for money, they would have done this ages ago.
Wait, what did we talk about? Was the last podcast about chief executive officer's responsibility?
I know.
If there's potential revenue and you're missing out, and I'm an investor, and I'm talking a real investor, guys, not someone who has 100 shares in Nintendo. You really don't have much of a voice. I'm talking about a real investor. Mm-hmm. I would question, like, hey, we noticed your competitor Sony is making substantial amount of money on PC. Why is this not a field that we're entering? But
there's a huge difference, because Nintendo, I know you can argue with Sony as well, but Sony's become more of an American company. Like they follow the American corporate charter, where Nintendo does not. So Nintendo still follows like the Japanese, like, corporate sort of vision, where they want to make money. Like there's no question about that, and it's like they're not your friend or any of that stuff.
That's true, they are not your friend.
But they very much do want to play by their rules. So I think
respect that.
I think a way of summing this is Xbox, like with regards to like console, if you will, Xbox is still has a one up, because they unified PC and console. So
huge move.
That was last gen. So
I told you, because I have a Xbox Game Pass Ultimate on PC, and I can play all the Xbox console games that are included in the service on the PC. It's through an emulator through the cloud. But hey, man, I'm playing NHL games, because you know that they don't make those hockey games on PC is extremely rare. Most of them are small indie companies. No disrespect to those games, are good, but the thing is, you can't play the big franchises. And it's so awesome. You can play all those cool games on the PC. You do need a controller, but I mean,
well, whatever. So that was done. The whole thing of unifying the two platforms, because for a bit they had two completely different platforms, and then they unified the platform last gen, and now it's basically. They haven't done much this gen. I mean, they've been buying everyone, right? So their focus this gen has really been on like the Game Pass model, and like really trying to like bolster that up with all these acquisitions. Sony, well, we know they they got parity last gen, so they basically caught up to Microsoft last gen with regards to like the global network and what you could do, the features and all that kind of stuff. But it was this gen, the difference now is that now they have started to shift slowly but surely into the PC realm. You have a unified platform in the sense of like trophies and stuff like that, but it's not as unified as Microsoft. So I think because the infrastructure is already there, I do think that before the end of this generation, you're going to see that. You're going to see a full unification between the PC side of the house and the PlayStation side of the house.
That would be great.
And then it's, well, you already sort of saw it, right? Remember the whole debacle there of having to sign into the PlayStation Network and stuff? Like, that's not a bad thing. That's just like, that's what Microsoft does. That's what they all do.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know why people made such a big issue about it, but people.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole thing with like the PC side of the argument there. But anyway, with Nintendo, I do remember that it was like, I remember them introducing the like Nintendo Network ID or whatever the heck it was called. And I'm trying to think, because if you go in right now, if you go to like Nintendo.com, sign in, which you can, I don't know what options you have, because that's the way you always check, guys, is like if on your PC you can sign in, go to your account and check your purchases, then you know you have a unified account. But if you cannot do that, if you can just sign in and it has like your, I don't know, like your address or whatever, then no, then it's a console based system that isn't, there's no unification there. So I'll have to do that after this podcast. I'll be curious to see, because I don't remember. I'm pretty sure though that you can do that. Like, I think you can buy, I'd have to check. I'm just not 100% sure. Like right now, can you go on Nintendo.com and buy Zelda right now? If you
I'm
can,
pretty sure, yeah.
Digitally?
Because you can buy it on their storefront,
okay.
Of course, in the
Let's check.
app, and then are you checking their website? I think 100%. And what's cool about Back to Nintendo Online, so that means, Jarrod and guys, I mean, again, from their statement, that means that the Switch storefront, in theory, should not shut down in like 5 years.
Okay, I can confirm. So yeah, it is a unified. It is unified.
So there's some good things about that. So that means the Switch. So see, Jarrod, our worries about buying digital with Nintendo from Switch onward will be a thing of the past, because it sounds like the eShop or whatever will not disappear for the Switch. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah.
So the way it says, like, purchase type, digital or physical. The platform, and then your order number. So yeah, okay, all right. So that's good, guys. That's good news. I'm just looking. They're all Switch, right? There's no 3DS. Yeah, okay. So so there you go. So we know now. Yeah, okay. So we know now that that's pretty much the way it is. So okay, all right. Well, that's good. That's good news. So that means that with their next platform, in theory, you'd just be able to go and re-download your games. Okay, well, thumbs up for that. If that means that the 3DS, which is really unfortunate because the 3DS had so many games on it, that will be the last of the ununified platforms. So
yeah,
okay, cool.
Yeah, it's about time too, right, man? Because backwards compatibility is kind of cool, but I mean, I've never really used it. I don't remember the last time I ever used an old gen on a new gen system. So to me, it was never a big thing, but the fact that it's there is good. So
yeah, that's really good. So the other bit of Nintendo news that we had was all of this lawsuit between Nintendo and the Pokemon Company versus Pocket Pair and Palworld. Yeah, thanks. So we found out that the monetary damages are pretty much negligible.
Yeah.
like they want 5 million yen, which is about 32,000. Well, let's round up 33,000 American. Woo! Whoop-de-doo.
Yen sounds so much more than the dollar, right?
Yeah.
5 million yen.
But they want an injunction against Palworld that would block all future sales, which would effectively kill the game. So this is not about money, like in the sense like Nintendo's not out for money. They're out to block the sales of this. Just reading the article from IGN, it says Pocket Pair also confirmed the Japanese-based patents, which revolve around catching Pokemon in a virtual field. I told you that it wouldn't be just...
Yeah, because you can't... But there's other games that...
Well, wait. Hold on. Okay, that it's being sued for allegedly infringing. After Palworld's huge launch earlier this year on PC and Xbox, comparisons were made between Palworld's pals and Pokemon, with some accusing yada 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 with the designs, but rather than file a copyright infringement, look at that, guys. See, you watch this podcast and you can learn something. We had a whole discussion where I was talking all about the legal stuff, and I was saying that I was really surprised they didn't go down that route because it's so blatantly obvious that they're the same, but they didn't go down the patent, the copyright route. They went down the patent route. So specifically, I'm not going to get specifically into it, but there are 3 patents that we now know. Yeah, and it's all about that. That's so interesting. So it's the throwing ball mechanic at monsters in an open field to capture them. Okay. The other patents in question is actually about riding on top of your Pokemon. Like a mount? Really? How the hell did they get a patent?
That?
I don't know how they got a patent
because,
for it.
Was it Nexumon? Is that the name of it? A real good Pokemon clone. You do throw like its version of a Pokeball. It's like a Hex, if I remember. Or it doesn't matter.
Wild,
they
man.
throw it at the thing and you could catch it. That was one of Steven's favorite... Pokemon clones. He loved it. Matter of fact, part 3 is coming out and it's supposed to be open world full 3D. I cannot wait for that. Definitely be giving that a try. But it was that game. I don't remember it riding any of its Nexumons, but it did definitely throw. It had a really cool mini game, which I kind of wish that they'd added to Pokemon, where you throw that and you'd have to push a combination of buttons and stuff like that to capture.
Yeah, this is really...
Yeah, so that's kind of weird because there's other clones that have that, though.
Yeah, I don't know. No idea.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
unless really those patents are new.
Well, they were all registered in 2024, which is interesting. Which is this year.
Kinda, well, I mean, if the game's out before the patents, isn't it safe?
Yeah, that's weird.
Because Palworld came out last year, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Anyways, I'm not sure. I mean, it could be their renewals or something like that. But anyway, very interesting, guys. Like we'll keep. That's all that we have.
We'll keep an eye on that. So it doesn't look like it's a money thing, but definitely I don't know, because there's other games that have these mechanics that aren't. So yeah. Yeah,
it's a little bit bizarre.
Weird.
So I just got back from Nashville.
How was that?
Really good, man. Seriously, totally worth going. I mean, I'm a little old now for the party scene there.
Jarrod's a partier.
But no, it's basically like the Vegas of the South. There's a strip called Broadway that has like bar after bar after bar after bar after bar, and they're all got the giant neon signs and all that. And every celebrity from Kid Rock to John Bon Jovi has their own bar. It's wild, man. It's absolutely wild. But we had a really, really good time. Really, really good food. Went all over the place. Good sights, good sounds. Highly recommend going to check it out. I would like to go back there with no conference and just to enjoy. But I really enjoyed it. Really, really had a good time. And then when I came home, I had a massive box essentially waiting for me. It's not quite. It came in the next day, but whatever. And so right over there, I have all of my PlayStation 5 stuff. I have like a huge mountain of PlayStation 5s, from the base model to the PS5 Pro to the disc drive to the whatever they're called, the Pulse Elite, to everything came in all at once. I also got a terabyte hard drive. It was on sale, 85% off, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. Regular price is like almost $300, and got it for under $100. I was like, woohoo! Like, that's wicked. And so tomorrow, I was going to do it today, but I have Silent Hill 2 Remake that I'm literally 20 minutes, maybe not even 20 minutes, to getting my platinum, and then finishing that off. And that's kind of what I want to do. Then I'm going to do a LAN cable from one system to the next system, and then just, transfer every single thing. First time I've ever done an upgrade. I've never done a mid-cycle upgrade. I didn't do it last time. Yeah, with the PS4, because I was doing my MBA, I was so busy. Like, I was just so busy that I played maybe 1-2 games a year. If that.
Those days, yeah.
Yeah, like if that. But now that I've been using gaming as kind of like a stress reliever, it's nice. Like, I can come home from work. I can just take it easy for like an hour after I do all the EVA stuff I have to do. So pretty cool, man. And speaking of EVA, I don't know if I told you, we got accepted into the Consumer Electronics Show. We're actually going to have a booth at the Consumer Electronics Show, man. Yeah, it's going to be wild. So that's January 7th.
Is it free, or you have to pay?
Are you kidding? You're kidding.
Oh, man.
So those booths are around $1 million.
Oh, you're serious?
Oh, yeah, man. It's the world's largest trade show. And so, like, it's like 5 times larger than E3 was. So imagine, it's going to be crazy. But because we're a startup, they have in the Venetian, they have like an area that's all startups. That's all it is. And so we got a booth there. The government here is helping pay for it. It's not nowhere near that. I think in total is going to be something like 10 grand, somewhere around there.
Not bad.
No, it's not bad at all, considering how many eyeballs, you're.
Oh yeah, that's good for you, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be absolutely great. We're chugging along slowly but surely, getting more and more and more of our bugs out of the system. We've been testing it more and more and more, and our artificial intelligence is going to be coming online probably in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. So very cool. Like, it's gonna be a very interesting thing to follow here. It's just going to be really, really neat. But yeah, so since I'm playing more and more, like different games and stuff like that, I figured, what the hell, let me do this refresh. Let's see what it's like. I've heard mixed things. So reviews online seem to be, well, if you squint, you can tell the difference. But if you go to Reddit and Twitter and stuff like that, people are like, this is like fanboys that are just, doing these things. They're like, it's pretty substantial. And Ahmed was saying the same thing. He was like, there was even an improvement with the PlayStation Portal and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm really, really curious. And for the rest of the year, you guys know what's up. We've got a few more days, and then I go into my cave and see you next year. Because I cannot wait for Dragon Quest 3. That's going to be absolutely awesome.
Oh yeah, you're going to love it, dude.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait for that. And then over the holidays, Indie. I'm really looking forward to that. I really hope Microsoft can start to do like one a month. Get like one good release a month, because my poor Xbox, I feel like I'm neglecting the thing, but there's nothing, special. Like the games that are on Game Pass right now, they're not my cup of tea.
Oh,
And like, so this year,
there's Indiana Jones.
yeah, of course. So I got Indie. Hellblade 2 was one that I really enjoyed. That was an excellent game. You never even tried it. What else? But that's the thing. Like, what else? Like, there hasn't been that much this year. I'm hoping next year. Like, I really am hoping, because that's when Doom's gonna come out. That's when, like, there's gonna be
Doom,
a more steady release. So I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be cool. So
it is gonna be cool, dude.
What about you? What have you been up to? What were you playing this week?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I actually booted it up. The Mario and Luigi Brothership is out now. Yeah, you remember that? The intro is actually pretty cool. I hear I haven't really seen much, but I hear there's they can patch it. There's some performance issues during the some parts of the game that people were kind of a little bit, you have to remember. I mean, Switch is Switch, but usually Nintendo pans out there, or they're really good about getting the most bang out of their buck. But yeah, I think like you said, Jarrod, now it's at the point where the Switch is just, it's at the point where it needs an upgrade. But man, I'll let you know what I think of the game overall. But another part too is they said people, I mean, I don't mind it. There is a lot of dialogue, but I don't care, right? But some people, I don't know, man. People's attention spans these days are just like, I mean, I know that, Nintendo games have never really been. Well, maybe the Fire Emblem series have always been known for their great stories or something like that. But still, if I remember right, the other Mario and Luigi games also had a lot of dialogue, right? I mean, if I remember, you had to go through for a little. But I don't know. So to me, it's not a big issue. But I'm just trying to look out for what the reviews say. The performance stuff I think is minimal, but obviously I'm not that deep, so I'll have to let you know when some 20. I don't know how long the game is, probably 20, 30 hours. How much were the other ones? I think we said 20, 30 hours,
yeah,
right? So,
yeah, somewhere around there. I think it was like 15 to 30 hours, like depending on...
By the way, are you going to get it or no?
It depends on the time, man. Like for me, all gaming comes to an end on Thursday. Like Thursday, well, ish. That I like, for me, honestly, Dragon Quest is where it's at, and then I'm going to see, right? Like then I'm going to... There's Dragon Quest will probably take me. It depends, actually. I don't know.
Well, those are long games, but I don't know if the original Dragon Warrior 3 was a long game. Hard game. So back in those days, the 8-bit era, long games were quote unquote not really long. They were just tough as nails. So you had to repeat a lot of those, like Ninja Gaiden. You remember that game? If you think about Ninja Gaiden, I don't even think it was actually a long game. It was just such a tough game that you'd have to replay the levels over and over again.
Well, with Dragon Quest, it's going to be more the grind. And for me, it's more, I'm really, really looking forward to seeing, like, what did they do? You know what I mean? Like, besides the graphics.
Some major differences.
Because we all know about the graphics and the audio and stuff like that, but I'm more curious about
quality of life.
Yeah, exactly. And
it'll be really a new game. I don't think. I mean, you played the original, but I don't even know if you remember the original. But I'm pretty sure it'll be pretty much a new experience. The core story might be the same, but
I played. Let's see. I played the original. I played the Super Famicom remake. They never did come out on the 3DS. No, the last time I played this was the Anniversary Collection on the Wii. That was the last time I played this. I know it was based on it was the Super Famicom one.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say they didn't do anything special for it like they're doing.
No, and I know that they just released Dragon Quest 1 to 3 on the Switch and everywhere else, but those were like the Cell versions, and they were really low budget.
Weren't they because the one I played, Dragon Quest 1, I did for the made the videos for the YouTube is I heard it was based on the mobile version.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, it's the Cell versions that and so for those, I mean, they were okay, but it was like a low effort remake type thing.
I'm looking forward to this one, man, because I think it'd be cool, especially after the ending of no spoilers, guys. Spoilers if you don't want to hear about Dragon Quest 11. The ending of 11 really ties into this game, so the story at least.
Well, that's what I want to see. That's exactly what I want to see. I'm super curious. Like, I'm really, really curious to see Well, I'm really curious to see all of this, to be honest. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's going to be wild.
Do you think we're gonna get? What we're doing? Are we gonna get? What's it called? Are we going to get more of these type of remakes, you think?
Well, they announced Dragon Quest 1 and 2 will be coming next year, which that's cool.
Nice.
That gives me something to look forward to. I'm a little concerned about Dragon Quest 12 because where the hell is it?
Yeah, we don't hear anything about that, man. It's weird. You don't think it's canceled? No, there's no way.
No, well, canceled. I mean, you don't cancel those games. Well, you do, but they get more... I think it was restarted. That's what I think happened. Like, so yes, I think it was canceled. And I think, because like this isn't normal now. Like, this is not normal. Like, all we got was that trailer.
Teaser.
Yeah. And that was at the 35th anniversary, I think it was. And we're coming up to the 40th.
Yeah.
It's going to be 5 years where not a single screenshot, nothing, literally nothing.
You remember they were saying they were going to do some changes to it. So maybe they were doing some different concepts and they decided to scrap it and go back to what they know what works, like a lot of developers love to do. They don't want to innovate too much because they're afraid consumers won't buy it or be upset. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I really, really don't know. But that actually brings up another interesting topic that actually just got, I think it was yesterday it came out, I saw it, where Sony was talking about, I think it was the CEO was talking about Concord and saying like lessons learned and very interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Was talking about like, they should have done more user testing and
that was one of their
paid more attention to what people were saying. But I did like what he said. I did like this. Because not only, yes, that makes sense, but he was like, they are going to start to double down on what they do best, which is those grandiose single player games. And right now, I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting. I mean, someone feel free to debate, but I do think last gen, they pretty much, I think, are the best studio now in the world for single player, like large scale single player sort of games. And this generation, they just dropped the ball completely.
Well, they were trying to go after that live service.
Yeah, well, they tried to do that, and everything has been a remake of.
Yeah, this is the thing that's interesting. Like I told you, man, is there's that. We should link that YouTube guy. But he says, what makes it, because there was all this Concord, and so he made what makes a successful live service game. And there are so many little bullet points. And you look at that list and you look at the successful ones, and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, it makes sense. The thing is, like we told you, what are these executives? They're not interested in that. They don't question their marketing team like this. We don't know how bad of a job the marketing did, or maybe it was arrogance. These
it could be anything.
In Japan, we're like, we don't. You're shit. We don't care what you say. We're going to do what we want. We don't know what happened, but he did allude to that lessons learned, and they should have listened more. So it kind of makes me think that maybe Sony's executives didn't listen to feedback or concerns. Who knows? We don't know for sure. But yeah, there's. It's just live service can work, but the problem is you got to do it right. And a lot of these developers are in a rush to get their product out quickly, and they don't have a game plan or a long-term plan. And you alluded to that. It's because of the way the stock market's set up, right? They don't look 5, 6, 10 years away.
Yeah, precisely.
In the future. They want instant regret.
And I'm gonna go back to that right now, because I think part of that comment that he made about like, focusing on what we do best, that is actually a little bit short-sighted. And
it is short-sighted.
And the reason why is not because live service is going to take over the world, and it's not about that. It's the current, or I guess last gens into this gen, Sony really did, right? Focused on massive, large scale God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, Uncharted, all that.
Yeah, those are all huge, big hits. Yeah.
But they also cost a ton of money, and they take forever to get released.
Yep.
That's not sustainable. Like, that is not
No,
a
it's not.
sustainable practice.
Yep. And they said that themselves too, that AAA is not sustainable.
So if this isn't sustainable, but you're going to double down on this, I'm a little perplexed. And we also got in that same thing, they said that Astrobot has sold over 1.5 million, which that is impressive on one side, right? Like on the side of like, oh, great, you sold over 1 million units. Not as impressive when you look at the install base, but again, you know, Sony fans are usually looking for those God of Wars, the Uncharted's, the, you know, those things. So I don't actually know if this is good or bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, to Sony, I have a feeling this is going to be considered a huge success because they didn't even market it. You know what I mean? Like they had no marketing money put to this game until the reviews hit, and everyone was giving it 9s and 10s, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing it pop up here, there, commercials all over the place. So anyways, all this to say, I think with Sony in particular, they've just got to get their act together. Like this so far, this generation has been a complete and utter waste. It's been a waste of a generation.
Well, they did have the Least Hall Divers 2 hit. But yeah,
no, but
overall...
but that's on PC. That's on, you know, like I'm just like, there's been, if you compare to last gen,
Sony's been...
It's like, I don't understand what the, you know, we talk about Microsoft's leadership all the time and give them hell, but it's the same thing here. Like, guys, what are you doing? Naughty Dog, your premier developer, has not made a new game this gen. Think about that.
They're probably working on one and it's taking a long time. That's probably
rumors were saying it was a live service game that's been canned based on The Last of Us.
Concord.
So, but you know, seriously, dude, like think about that. You're one of the world's top developers, and you haven't released a single. It's not even about releasing. You haven't even teased. You haven't even. Nothing. It's weird. It's really, really weird. Anyway, for me, I'm happy that we got Sucker Punch, you know, is like releasing what is it, Ghost of what was it? Yotai?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. I'm really happy about that. But if you look at all their studios, dude, like what else are they doing? It's kind of like Nintendo. Nintendo right now, I know what's up. Like, I know what they're doing, right? They're preparing for the new console, so there's tons of games like that they're working on, for sure. I'm actually shocked that you got a new Mario and Luigi, that we got that Zelda game. Shocked. Just shocked. That
they got to have something to tide them over, because I'm assuming it's not going to be out until summer, man. Maybe spring if we're lucky, depends. I mean, traditionally, when they announce a system, it usually comes, 6 months later at least, maybe?
Again, it's tough because...
Who knows? But rumors saying, like I told you, rumors saying they've been in production a while to ramp up, so maybe there's a ton of stuff ready to go. So we'll see. We'll definitely be talking about it. I can't wait till we get to see some real
dude,
footage.
What do we know about Nintendo's release schedule next year? Do we know anything at all?
No, not...
All I know is Prime 4.
There's the Metroid Prime 4, but that's just supposed to be coming out early next year, right? If I remember right. Or May. It's not early next year, May. So that's kind of late. I'm wondering if that's going to be a launch title for Switch 2. And, you know, they do that, right? The Zelda comes out on both systems. So, you know. Yeah,
it's just there's a big difference between Zelda and Metroid.
True. Metroid's only really popular here. It's not very popular.
And even here, man, like if you look at the sales, it's not, it's not
so maybe
huge...
that won't be maybe it won't be. I wonder why. Because Metroidvanias are huge, man. And Metroid is literally the grandmother, whatever you want to call it, of these games, right? That and older Castlevania. People forget that Castlevania 2 was a quote-unquote Metroidvania, because it was a non-linear, go back and forth, find different things. People forget that. Everyone praises Symphony of the Night, but Symphony of the Night was not the first Metroidvania game.
No,
It was,
it's because
Simon's Quest, right?
yeah, Simon's
Castlevania
Quest,
2 Simon's
but
Quest,
yeah, but that's also a bit of a stretch. It was a non-linear action game, yes, but it was not as Metroid.
Correct,
Like,
but you have to remember that it kind of was still the forefather, though, compared to Symphony of the Night. Symphony of the Night was also on a much better system years later, so...
Yeah, well, what they did, I mean, in my opinion, which was just brilliant, was they took Super Metroid, they took everything that worked with Super Metroid, they looked at their series, right? And at that point, they had, Rondo of Blood, which I still cannot believe that never came out here. Like,
Didn't
it's
it
crazy.
come out... It's remakes, though, later
Well, no.
on?
Yeah. They released it 20 years later or whatever on like the PSP and a bunch of other stuff. But I'm just saying back then, I still cannot believe that they didn't release it in North America.
Why,
well, I know why, because the TurboGrafx 16 was, it sold like, 4 copies. I was one of the ones that had one.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm positive Konami did not want to be associated with a failure, so they were like, screw that. But they also were messing around with Rondo of Blood. So like a lot of things happen that led to Symphony of the Night. You're right, Simon's Quest. There's also Castlevania 3 with multiple character swapping that would allow you to traverse.
One of my favorite Castlevania games, dude. That and Super Castlevania 4 had a sweet spot because that was the first time we got the really upgraded graphics. At the time, right? But that was a traditional Castlevania, straightforward. And...
Yeah, but still, like, you could see, like, and if you played Rondo of Blood, it's the same idea. Like, there's branching paths that you could go in different areas. And I think it was just, I mean, I have it right here, the original Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It was like one of the perfect games for the perfect time. Like, it just came out, and it's so funny because at that time, so many people were like, "Oh, it's 2D." Like, so funny, man. I miss those days of that.
Back then, 3D wasn't even that great. I told you, I never really liked the fact that Mario kind of went to 3D. I mean, the newer Mario games are much better 3D controls and that, but like Super Mario 64, I never thought was that great. I know people are gonna roast me.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna get doomed.
I never thought it was that great of a game. I thought it was underrated. Now, it did have some great parts at the time. I mean, like the Bowser swinging it. That was so cool. But overall, I didn't like the trends. But Zelda, though, for some reason, was excellent to 3D. Like Ocarina, maybe because just Zelda's a different type of game, or they had perfected at that point. I don't know. But I didn't think Mario 64 was that great. I know people are going to roast me.
Oh, I can't wait for the comments here. This is going to be awesome. I remember the first time, I remember seeing that for the first time at Space World and just being absolutely floored.
Oh, yeah. At the time of the visit, that was cool. But
that was unbelievable. I just...
Compared to the others, dude, come on, dude. The old classics were Super Mario World. I mean, how can you compare that? Super Mario World was a vastly better game than Mario 64.
Oh, my gosh. I feel sorry for you, man. I feel sorry for you. But no, I mean, well, that's why there's always the two camps, right? You have your 2D Mario fans and you have your 3D Mario fans. And the reason why Zelda worked for you is because it's literally the same gameplay, except from an overhead perspective. You just brought the camera down. The gameplay is identical.
Maybe that was the camera made the huge difference. Because Mario's camera was kind of like
no, dude, no. It's not about that. It's not about the camera. It's think about it. What was Mario able to do?
Jump around everywhere,
left and right.
That's
it. Link. What was Link able to do? He could go anywhere.
You're right.
So there's a fundamental gameplay difference between taking Mario into 3D and taking Zelda. With Zelda into 3D, you didn't actually have to change gameplay at all. Which they didn't. It's identical. It's the exact same gameplay that you always had. The only difference is they changed the perspective. That's it. Boom. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So,
you're right.
and it's funny because everyone, myself included, we were all like, "Oh my god, it's so revolutionary," and everything. When at the end of the day, if you really take your, your fanboyism out and you look at it, you kind of realize like, oh yeah, it's true. It's literally the same game. They just, it was revolutionary for its time, of course, right? The scale, the scope, the all of that.
I wonder if they're ever going to do a proper Ocarina of Time remake, remaster where it's modern engine, modern game
Oh, I think one
graphics
day,
and stuff.
man. I do think one day they'll do something like that. And the only reason why is because it's just such a
Classic
classic,
game.
right?
Or and also Majora's Mask. If they do that, they should have to do Majora's Mask as well
Well,
because
they've
that
been
would be
they've been
great.
doing like they've been doing okay with that, right? We got it. We got the remake on the 3DS for both of
Yeah,
them.
I'm talking about like next gen.
No, I know,
Visual.
but still, they did do remakes of them for that. So I mean, yeah, maybe.
Maybe we'll see. I personally don't mind remakes once in a while, but right now the trend is remasters, remakes. So it's getting kind of old. I want new games because I told you, like, oh, was it? They did a remake for, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite games, Beyond Good and Evil. You remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, the same thing. ActRaiser, one of my favorite all-time Super NES games. Love that game. Very tempted to buy the remake or remaster.
Excuse me.
Didn't because I'll tell you, it's just it's the same game with a prettier paint job, and it's like I've done that, experienced it. It's never gonna hold the same.
No, but
Yeah, might
dude, you do
smirk,
get.
oh, I remember this part from the game. Oh, that was cool. It's good to see it again, but it's never gonna be the same.
No, but
to
dude,
me,
like it's still cool to do that. It's like the Final Fantasy VII, right? Remake.
but
Like
that's a pretty drastic. Plus, they added story to it.
it's a completely
Right?
it's
Yeah,
a,
yeah.
it's a
So
different
that's a little
game
bit
type of
but
thing.
I know what you're saying.
But
I know
yeah,
what
but
you're saying.
like that doing that is so cool because like you still get the nostalgia, sort of feeling. But it's a whole other bloody game. I'm so happy I
Yeah,
got
but
this
what
year to
I'm
play
trying to
that.
say is most of these remasters they don't do
No,
that.
no, I know,
They just
I know.
they just
And even
cut and
Silent Hill
paste with new
2.
visuals.
So Silent Hill
Oh.
2 that I'm literally playing. As soon as we get off this, I'm gonna set this up and I'm finishing this damn thing tonight, damn it.
Now, did
But
they
that-
add new story?
So it's the same story beats, it's the same everything. However, I don't know if you know anything about Silent Hill 2, but the fan theory is that it's a loop. Okay? So, guys,
never
ladies and
escape.
gentlemen, I am going to spoil this game. So, leave, stop, okay? Because after this, the podcast will pretty much be over. So, thanks for watching. I'm dead serious, okay? So, I'm about to spoil Silent Hill 2.
Uh-oh.
You still here? Everybody?
Still here.
All right, so your last chance. Okay, here we go. So, in Silent Hill 2, the big reveal, if you don't know, is, well, I guess before, basically the main character, his wife died 3 years ago, something like that. And one day at home, he gets a letter from his dead wife, postmarked this year, saying, "Meet me in our special place in Silent Hill." So he drives out to Silent Hill, and that's when all this madness and everything takes place. And the big reveal at the very, very end, when you get into hotel room, I think it's 312, he has a VHS, good old video cassette, and he puts it in and he sees that he killed his wife. And he killed her because she had like a horrible disease that was slowly but surely killing her. And that's that. Now, that's the big reveal, okay? But what's never been revealed, at least officially, is who are all the other characters that you stumble onto in the game? Like, is it James, like, succumbing to
Guilt?
madness? Yeah, exactly. And like guilt and all of this. But at certain parts of the game, like you'll go into like a hotel and you'll see a body is covered in a sheet. But if you look at the pants and the shoes, they're yours. And you will find corpses all throughout that are wearing your clothes. And so the big fan theory is that you have been stuck in a loop and that you've never actually left Silent Hill. And that's why there's all these different endings. The different endings are just different situations that James has gotten into and that he's never, ever able to leave. And it's interesting, man. Like, it's really interesting. And I feel so bad for the Silent Hill team, the original Silent Hill team, because they made part 1. It was so unique for its time compared to like Resident Evil. And then they made a absolute masterpiece with Silent Hill 2. And they've never, ever been able to like, how do you do that? Right. You make like one incredible games. It's sort of like Tears of the Kingdom, right? As awesome as Tears of the Kingdom is, it will never be remembered compared to Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild was just so different compared to all the other Zelda games and stuff like that. No matter what, like I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think we're going to get another Breath of the Wild for another 20 years.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of, whoa.
Big.
You know, like not even big, man, but like different. Like taking the series in a different direction that people love. Not in a direction that people hate and it's garbage and whatever. And I think with like Silent Hill, they've never, and I don't think they ever will, be able to top that, because you made such a good psychological, you know, horror game that how can you possibly beat that? So anyways, there you go. So yeah, now we wrap up and I'm going to go finish this.
Oh, but before we wrap up, we have 2 things though.
Oh, of course, you always do this.
Yeah. Well, the last one we're going to save for Pokemon, but as we all know, BlizzCon's been canceled. I think because everything's digital now, Microsoft's influence. I don't think we'll ever see BlizzCon again.
They canceled it. They had just confirmed that they were moving ahead with it.
Yeah, well, they
okay.
So, anyways, directs are good. So, well, where do you hear that news? But anyways, Warcraft's 30th anniversary is happening. The Warcraft Direct starts November 13th at 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So adjust to your time zone. So. Yeah, and it's good. You're going to have Twitch drops, guys, for all the games, Hearthstone, Rumble, of course, World of Warcraft. So we're going to see, and this is what they're going to be saying is the future of the franchise. So it's going to be interesting. Is it going to be new games? Obviously, they're probably going to announce, well, the new World of Warcraft expansion just came out. So I don't know if we'll hear another expansion quite yet. Maybe they will, because this is a planned trilogy in terms of story. So they're probably maybe announce something like that. So I bet as a WoW fan and Warcraft fan, I'm definitely really interested to see. Remember, Blizzard said that RTS games are dead, so I don't know if we'll ever get a true RTS for Warcraft again, like a Warcraft 4. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, what are your expectations of it, Jarrod? Besides the future of the franchise, I wonder what they mean by that.
Well, we'll see.
World of Warcraft 2, maybe not. They're not going to do 2. No, at least not anytime soon.
No, not anytime soon. It's still making way too much money for them to do something like that, and it costs gajillions of dollars to to make another MMO. I'd love them to make just another RTS, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I would love it, but they were quoted saying that the RTS genre is dead. So who knows? And Microsoft has kind of given them direction, saying focus on what's successful. So we'll see. And then the other news, though, unless you have more to add, is Pokemon Pocket just came out. When its first week, over 30 million downloads, and it made 33.7 million, a huge success. It's over 55% of the revenue of Pokemon Go. By the way, Pokemon Go still rakes in a substantial amount of money. So, yeah, congrats. We both knew that Pokemon Pocket's going to be a huge success. I'm assuming it's going to continue to be a huge success. It's going to get 4 sets a year, which, oh my God, it's going to be hard to keep up with that if you're a free-to-play player. I don't know. But we'll see. But so, yeah, they're definitely off to a huge start. They have back-to-back events going on right now. So, yeah, I knew it. More money for Nintendo and the company and all them. So,
all right.
Have you tried it?
No, man.
Yeah,
You speak to me
Come
every
on,
week.
Jarrod, you're a collector.
Every
you're a collector.
week. You're
You
hilarious.
gotta try it, man.
I don't collect anything. I play my stuff. All right, well, sweet. All right, man. Well, that's it, folks. We're officially done. We will catch you next week, and we'll see what happens if we get more news or what's going on.
It's going to be probably a slow week. It's the holidays and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's coming
but hey, but there's a lot of big games coming out this month.
Yep.
We'll definitely give you our hands impressions, guys.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I'm going to talk about Dragon Quest next week, so woo!
Oh, yeah, can't wait.
Okay, guys.
All right, man.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.